we doing this?
Okay, when I signed up for an Apple Card, I thought it was just for the Apple Store, and I wanted a MacBook because I was like, I'm buckling in and I'm editing, and I did. I edited the most I've ever edited.
I got some gems from when I was in the thick of it. Let's go through them all. Starting with this suede jacket from the brand Half Boy. Half Boy is an Italian brand based in Milan. This jacket was, I believe, around $1,500 US.
Spend the money. Buy the cute outfit you want. Go on that trip you've always wanted to. Book the vacation you've always wanted to. Your friend invites you to a concert? Go.
Welcome or welcome back. Regardless, today we're going to be looking at some of the craziest shopping editions I've ever seen in the year of 2025. If you didn't know, people are kind of broke, especially right now, and it seems like more than ever. And sometimes it's not their faults, but today you're going to see sometimes it kind of is. Without further ado, let's get into this craziness. Now for this first video, it doesn't seem like this person has a current shopping addiction, but she's going over some of the craziest things that she bought, and let me just say, one of them is a $1,500 jacket, and trust me, she could not afford it at the time. Let's watch.
These are the most expensive pieces from the height of my shopping addiction, and they also happen to be my favorite. I've been recovering from my shopping addiction for about 6 months now, but I got some gems from when I was in the thick of it. Let's go through them all. Starting with this suede jacket from the brand Half Boy. Half Boy is an Italian brand based in Milan. This jacket was, I believe, around $1,500 US. And it is incredible quality, I will say, but I think that this is such a unique piece. It feels vintage inspired, but also the tailoring feels really modern and original. I am obsessed with this jacket. I will never be getting rid of it. It was worth every penny, but it did send me into debt. Next up, we have the most cherished item in my closet. This is my Chipova Luena skirt. I bought this for around $1,200. The quality of this skirt is insane, and if you're not familiar with Chipova Luena, this is kind of their like signature skirt. And I believe all of these fabrics are dead stock or reclaimed from old Bulgarian aprons. And then wash it, cut it, sew it, pleat it, and then they turn these into these skirts, and no two are alike. It's just a very unique, one-of-a-kind piece. I haven't seen anyone with this exact skirt, and I just love it so much. Also worth every penny. I also went into debt for it. Next up, we have these Andemulmeister trousers, which are an absolute staple in my wardrobe. These are incredibly well-constructed. The quality of it is insane. The fabric flows like water. It's like a wool silk blend. I'm not gonna put these on right now because they're gonna get covered in cat hair, but these have the most amazing drape and slouch to them. They are the perfect black trousers. I bought these when I was in Antwerp at the Andemulmeister flagship store, and I believe I paid around $1,100 for them, but then I got 12 or 16% of the VAT back. So I think they worked out to be like $800, $900. So expensive. And then we have these Tom Ford sunglasses, which are my favorite sunglasses that I own. They are so huge and oversized, but they just look so cool.
So if you just watched that clip, you only watched about a minute to a minute and a half of the video. Just depends on how much the editors cut out. I just saved you 6 minutes of your time. I watched the 6 minutes, and it is an absolute dumpster fire. I believe the clips they're going to keep is about the purse, the jacket, and I think the sunglasses, because those were just very interesting. She said she used the PayPal Pay in 4 for the sunglasses, which I guess in theory, paying over time, as long as you pay it off before it's over, it's fine. It can be decent, but a lot of times if you don't have the cash just to pay for it, you might not should get it, especially if it's just something like sunglasses. And before we move on, I want to look at a couple of these comments. I'm sending this to my husband so he knows I could be worse than he thinks I am. And also, was it a shopping addiction or just investing frequently? I don't know if this is considered investing. I wouldn't personally say so, but you know, I guess technically to each their own. We'll leave it at that. Now, next up on the list, we have one that actually is addressing shopping addiction in a different way. So this one isn't negative, it's pretty positive. They're saying that shopping addiction isn't okay and it is not normal, which I couldn't agree with more. Let's see what they have to say.
Joking around about having a shopping addiction isn't normal. Having multiple online orders on their way to you at all times isn't normal. Hiding or lying about your purchases to your partner isn't normal. A recycling bin always full of deconstructed boxes and packaging and shopping bags isn't normal. Never repeating the same outfit isn't normal. None of these things are normal, but you are not alone. I'm Hannah. I'm a former broke shopaholic who dealt with all of these things, and I'm here to help you balance healthy spending habits with your love of getting dressed. If you want more tips to quit compulsive shopping, save this video to keep underconsumption content in your algorithm.
Being in massive debt is not only a very serious thing, but it's also not funny and it's not good. And I understand there's lots of times you can't help but be in debt. I believe this is a video that a lot of people, especially in my generation, needs to see. It's okay to not get the newest thing that comes out every single day. It's okay not to keep up with the Joneses, as a lot of people say. The blunt reality is a lot of these people in these videos, and especially on TikTok, they're 18, 19, or in their 20s or early 30s, and they're already in massive amounts of debt, buying things that in all reality they don't hold value and they won't care about in whether it be a day, a week, a month, a year, it doesn't matter. These things will not keep appreciating for the most part, and you're just going to move on to the next popular flashy thing that some other influencer is promoting to you. I don't really even want it anymore, I'm being honest. So great video there. Love the positivity. Let's move on to the next one and put this one, the romanticization of overconsumption. This next video shows this young lady talking about how she desperately just wants to spend money and how good it makes her feel. And honestly, it's kind of sad.
I just want to spend money. I just really want to spend so much money on beautiful, wonderful, magical things. Like high-heeled boots and crocodile bags. Not real, of course, but...
Well, at least she said not real crocodile bags and boots, but it's just... that is the reality for a lot of people right now. Spending makes them feel happy. It fills up that dopamine in their head. And yeah, the more you swipe, the more you get new things, you'll enjoy it. Oh, you will enjoy it for a small amount of time until, like I said from the last video, the next thing comes out and then you want that one too. So get that credit card, swipe it, and you're back in the cycle all over again. Now let's look at some of these comments where people are talking about actually dealing with this too. This user said, this year has been rough and the dopamine hit of buying things is what gets me through. Another one says, as an emotional spender, I get it. Then this one right here is actually pretty cool, pretty positive. I'm doing a no buy until February, and whenever I have the itch, I just pay off a bill. If you think you have a spending addiction too, honestly, you should try and do something like this, because doing a no buy month could really help save you a lot of money. And like I said, if you wait just a little longer, you might not even want the thing anymore. Next up is actually another positive video. I know, I can't believe it either. But this one talks about how saving money can actually be just as addicting and just as satisfying as spending it too. Watch this, I love it.
As someone who identifies as a chronic spender, I feel like nobody talks about how addicting it is once you actually start saving your money. It's like, wow, so I do have money if I just don't spend it. Like, yes, I haven't left the house in weeks, but I'm up.
This is what I like to see. Just because you're saving money doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Just because you miss out on that one thing doesn't mean it's a bad thing. I hear a lot of times people say, well, what if I die tomorrow? Then I didn't have the fun. Well, if you die tomorrow, then guess what? More than likely, you won't know that you missed it. So it's okay. And just seeing some of these comments below the video also gets me so fired up. This user says, literally so addicting. It gives me reverse buyer's remorse, especially when I buy my little stocks. And speaking of investing, if you're not currently investing, then you are potentially missing out on massive gains. So I want to invite you to invest with me on the same platform. And that platform is WEBULL. And the best part is, if you sign up for WEBULL with my link in the description below, you can get some free fractional shares. That's right, free fractional shares and stocks for you and me. It's a win-win situation, so don't miss out. Just go down in the description below and click that link and sign up for WEBULL today. In this next clip, we're going to be looking at Caleb Hammer talking to an influencer girl who has a serious spending problem. Let me just tell you, it's insane.
Why are we doing this?
Okay, when I signed up for an Apple card, I thought it was just for the Apple store, and I wanted a MacBook because I was like, I'm buckling in and I'm editing, and I did. I edited the most I've ever edited ever since I got the computer. Which I was like, cool. But then I found out it wasn't just an Apple card. And then my spending did the thing, and it's so easy just to go, didn't it?
It is. That's why you are not a credit card person. Chop them up. Use debit cards. Use
but
the
it's metal.
I don't.
I'm kidding. Keep going. I'm kidding. Oh. But it is metal, so I don't know how to chop that up.
Now, what I do not get, if you are putting money towards it and you're starting to pay off, why are we spending money? Why are we possibly spending money? What is the mindset behind it? What?
I'm looking at the dates on there because I haven't used my card in a while.
You haven't used a credit card in a while, as in like a week?
That's good.
Week and a half? That's a while? Current revolving, an Apple Bill, Taco Bell, Apple Bill, Starbucks, Apple Bill, Apple Bill, Velvet Taco, Apple Bill, Apple Bill, Apple Bill.
I don't swipe.
Tyson's Tacos, Starbucks, Apple Bill, Apple Bill.
Okay, the Apple Bill is obviously reoccurring.
Yeah, but they're thing. $63.59 on that Apple Bill.
I know
$22.25
why.
on that Apple Bill. $16.95 on that Apple Bill. $1.05 on that Apple Bill. $2.11 on that Apple Bill. $10 on that Apple Bill. $6 on
They're like
that
my
Apple
apps.
Bill. Yeah, no.
But I don't know what they are.
Go to your subscriptions. It takes 2 clicks. You get there and you cancel them.
But I can't cancel Discord Nitro.
You can cancel. Okay, I don't care. But you can cancel the rest of them.
Okay.
She can't cancel the Discord Nitro. She can't. I know this is an older clip of Caleb, but it's just one of my favorites. I remember when it first came out, that whole episode, and I just thought, there's no way this girl is serious. But there's way more people just like her who are just spending. And they see the charges come through. If they're even looking, they know the balance goes down, and they're like, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Just look. Just boop, 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 boop. It's just that simple, ladies and gentlemen. Some of these comments are pretty good too. It says, paying for fast food with a credit card is wild to me. If you can't afford it, eat at home. I consider myself pretty financially blessed. I really do. But I still stick to a budget, and I still make most of my food at home. I rarely go out and eat. It might be once or twice a month, but for the most part, I really do try and eat at home. Number one, the food is healthier for you. A lot of times, in my opinion, it tastes better, especially better than fast food, and it's going to save you a lot of money if you do it properly. Another one says, it's metal. Nah, girl, you going broke. I thought the fad of metal cards being the coolest thing in the world was over, but apparently it's not. Don't get me wrong, metal cards are cool. I have one of them. But just because it's a metal card does not mean you need to swipe it or use it on dumb apps. And be sure to let me know in the comments below, what is the dumbest purchase that you have ever made with a credit card? I would love to read it and react to some of them in a future video. Next up, we have a short little, essentially POV style video. It's just a few seconds long, but I mostly want to watch it and then react to some of the comments below. With her saying it doesn't matter how much money she has in her account, she's just gonna buy what she wants. That's not exactly a great idea, but let's see what some of the people in the comments have to say. Like this comment right here to me is kind of sad because it says, I never know when life is gonna end and don't want to regret not getting something that makes me happy. Once again, kind of like I said earlier, if you die tomorrow, you're not gonna know that you missed it. So it's okay. But I understand where people are coming from with that fear, and it is sad to see. But like I keep saying, more than likely, these things that you think are going to make you that much happier, especially if it's just physical items from a store, like a new bag or anything like that, this will not make you happy in the long run. Another comment says, me, because I bought 20 things online in the past week. And the final comment here says, girl, same. This sounds so stupid, but I actually started an ADHD med, and it's helped my addiction so much. I don't feel like that sounds stupid at all, because once again, shopping addictions just kind of feed that need for something, and it can come from a lot of different areas. So like I said, I beg of you, be smart with your money, and if you plan to be smart with your money, be sure to hit the like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already, because we're trying to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of June. Next up on the chopping block, I don't know why I called it a chopping block, but we have this video from this amazing individual that says, spend the money. Now we're gonna see, do I agree with her? Do I completely disagree with her? Or can we meet somewhere in the middle? Let's find out.
Spend the money. Buy the cute outfit you want. Go on that trip you've always wanted to. Book the vacation you've always wanted to. Your friend invites you to a concert, go. If there is one thing I have learned, not necessarily learned, but really had dug into my head in the past year or so with loss, is that tomorrow isn't promised. I know that there's, you need to save money, you need a budget, you need to be smart with your money, but at the same time, why are you, saving all this money for my retirement 60 years from now? Or, well, maybe I'll buy that one thing in 2 weeks when I get paid. Okay, harsh reality, how do you even know that you're going to be here in 2 weeks? That's how I always think of things. My dad always gives me the most crap about how much money I spend, and he's like, Randy, you have to, his exact words the other day is, you're going to have to think about 60 years from now, blah, blah, blah. And I cut him off and I said, Dad, who says I'm going to be here in 60 years? Who? And I want these next 60 years, if I am alive, to be full of fun, to be full of experiences. I don't want them to be spent sitting at home eating freaking ramen noodles Nothing wrong if you have to eat ramen noodles, but you know what I mean. Forcing myself to like sit at home and do nothing and not go and do the things I want, go out to eat, go to these fun concerts and have the most fun life ever just because I'm worried about penny pinching and saving money. Like, seriously,
No disrespect to this creator at all. It sounds like potentially they have dealt with some sort of loss recently. So if so, I'm sorry for your loss. Just want to start off respectful like that. But this, in my personal opinion, for the most part, is a horrible mindset to have. Once again, I don't even think I really need to repeat it, but you don't know if you're going to be here tomorrow. Yes, but you also, if you aren't here tomorrow, you won't realize you missed out on anything. I think where some people go wrong is they take their financial goals and their savings and investing X, Y, and Z so seriously to a point where they do hold themselves back from really getting to enjoy some of this money. You know, the money is only as good as what you're putting it to use for. I can save, and that's great. It really is. But if you never take the time to do something with it, whether it's going on a trip, or just treating yourself to something, or donating it to charity, you're just so hyper-focused on just building that dollar amount, it becomes pointless. Let's see some of these comments. This user says, you can make more money. You can't make more memories. But then you have a conflicting one right below it, where it says, this is exactly what got me into my debt. It's obviously insanely important to make memories, but living life in this mindset, this lifestyle will get you into debt. It's just that simple. And for example, another user here brings up a very good point. Okay, but what if I do live to 65? Which, by the way, the statistical likelihood of you living to 65 is much higher than you not. Now, this next clip I think is one that I can slightly more agree with. The caption at the top says, you need to be spending more on yourself. So let's see what this TikToker thinks you need to be spending more on yourself with.
Any amount of money that you spend on eating well, dressing well, exploring the world, it's never a waste. So go ahead and spend the extra couple dollars on the organic food, a good outfit that's gonna last you years, maybe decades, and always take that trip because the money always returns, always.
Okay, that was not the worst video ever. Now, saying that the money just always returns, kind of, question mark, not really, but it's a decent mindset to be in if you're trying like I said, if you're that type that's always so worried about just stacking the cash, you can tell yourself, hey, it's okay, take a break. And I completely agree with the point of organic food. Listen, if you can afford it comfortably within your budget, yes, buy yourself healthy, nice food to cook at home, because once again, the whole point of building up all this money is to build a nice safety net and have fun with it too throughout your entire life. And we want to live long lives. Me personally, I do spend the extra money and try to get things like organic as much as I can comfortably afford it. That doesn't mean I get everything organic, but it means I try to get a decent amount. Now, things like clothes, yes, it is sometimes nice to get a decent quality shirt instead of just something from like, I don't know, Shein. A lot of times Shein is known for very poor quality to say the least. But that doesn't mean you need to go buy a $500 t-shirt. It means you could simply buy something that's, I don't know, $20. Even that for me, that's quite a bit to spend on a t-shirt, but I have some because they're good quality. And guess what? They've lasted a lot longer than when I try and spend less. So yes, I do technically agree on some of this. I just think his mindset, you know, what he's preaching at the end isn't completely accurate, but not that bad. Some of these comments are seriously good and some of them were kind of funny. For example, this comment says, fine, I'll start gambling again. I don't know if that's exactly what he was trying to preach, but nice. And then there's another comment that I agree with. It says the wrong crowd is gonna hear this and spend money they don't have. Go into even more debt. I agree with this, and that's why videos sometimes like this can technically be a little dangerous because some people might hear it and take it the wrong way. But as long as you're thinking about it logically, you should be okay. Now, this next video is also 7 minutes long, so we're gonna try and cut it down a little bit to just what matters most. But essentially, this is a nurse that is $20,000 in credit card debt. That's right, just credit card debt, nothing else. And here's why.
I have been financially not doing great. I am a nurse. Even though I am a nurse and I make good money, I don't have money, which is the sad part because of the choices that I've made still currently and the choices that I've made like previously, like from a couple of years. I am in credit card debt, and it's this unhealthy cycle that I have been putting myself into, and this just relationship with money has just never been something that I was talked about. Lifestyle creep is definitely a thing, and especially when you are trying to make a brand for yourself, when you're aspiring to do something that you want to do. And
this is the very dangerous side of, once again, in a way, keeping up with the Joneses, but in a way I don't hear a lot of people talk about. She's saying that she desperately wants to be a content creator, an entrepreneur. So with that, she's trying to buy products. She's trying to put herself out there. She just wants to be on camera, which obviously I can understand. I can agree with. I've made thousands of videos since I was really young. And I'm still a pretty young guy, so I have a lot of videos to go. But with that, I've always tried to be careful with where I'm putting my money and how much I'm trying to invest in myself. Also, if you just desperately need the products in your videos for whatever content you're making, then try to get innovative with it. Maybe you know someone that might have it. Maybe they have it in stores, so you can think of a different type of video to go film with it. Then, if you can monetize that video, then maybe you can take the money, buy the product, and keep making money from it. But you can't just recklessly spend and go diving, face first into what is potentially an absolute failure. Believe in yourself, invest in yourself, but do it smart and do it in a safe way. Otherwise, you may end up in a whole lot of debt. Now, right before we get into this last clip, I want to go over a few comments that you left on one of my recent videos. If you haven't seen it already, the video is called 27 Minutes of Insane Car Debt in 2025. And here's what some of you had to say. I thought my deal was bad, but after this, it still isn't the best, but it makes me feel better. February of this year, I got a 2022 Honda Civic Sport with 28,000 miles. My payment is $423 and insurance is $130, and my interest rate is 9%. Especially in today's market, that's not too bad. And I just want to say congratulations on the new car. Hopefully it comfortably fits within your budget and it ends up lasting you a nice long time. Next comment says, I don't know about what Dave is saying. $10,000 in shop bills happens so fast. And that is in reference to Dave Ramsey saying that a $10,000 cash car is still completely fine in 2025, and that some lady that called into his show saying a $10,000 car is going to lead to $10,000 in bills. But he, not in the nicest way, very much disagreed with that. And finally right here we have, I'm sure you can get a reliable car for $10K. But if you're putting your young family in it, it needs to have safety features like electronic stability control and current airbags. It's worth paying a little more for the peace of mind. And with that, I completely agree. If you can find one in the right price range that is also, most importantly, safe for you and your family, that is obviously the one you should go for. If you're still watching and want the chance to be in the next video, let me know in the comments below. If you could go back in time and not purchase one thing in your life, what would it be and why? I'll respond to some of my favorites in a future video. Now it's time for the final clip, and we're gonna end off on a positive note. Something that I really like to see, and you're gonna be shocked not only with what this lady has to say, but also her age, because let me just say respectfully, she looks amazing. Here we go.
I'm 54, and if you're younger than me, here's some really hard financial truths that are probably gonna make you uncomfortable, but they just might save you. Your dream life is possible, but not with your current financial habits. If you need a payment plan to afford it, you can't afford it. You're not saving money when you buy something on sale. You still spent, you just spent less. If you don't control your money, someone else will. And guess what? They're not going to use it in your best interest. A credit card is not an emergency fund. If you don't take the time to understand money, you will spend your life working for someone who does. Financial stress, it's self-inflicted. You can't retire on vibes and optimism. You're gonna have to work until you die if you don't start investing. Your bank account reflects your choices, not your excuses. You don't believe me? Take a look. Every dollar you spend is a vote for the life that you're building. What are you voting for? Security or poverty. You don't need a financial miracle. You need financial discipline. Stop praying for money and begin managing what you have. Your future is being sold off one impulse purchase at a time, and you will never escape the cycle of being broke until you admit that you are the problem. Hope that helps.
I absolutely love the way that she handled this video. It is amazing advice for every single person out there, regardless of age. A credit card is not an emergency fund, meaning you should not plan your emergencies on borrowed money. Obviously, there are things sometimes, and it just has to be done. But if you can avoid it by being responsible and planning ahead, that is obviously the best choice always. Let me know what you thought of all these videos down below. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to stay safe and stay financially smart. With that being said, I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.